Sunlight coming through my window, wake me up, I feel so cold. All my problems laying on my pillow.
Lately, I have been thinking a lot about fear. And this came up a few days ago when I did a little Q&A. And I was surprised by the number of questions that I received around my fearlessness. And I guess I am hoping to demystify that a little bit. I think it makes sense kind of as an observer on the outside to see these beautiful frames and to see this condensed progress over often multiple days, and to not see kind of all of the internal process and internal world of me, because I do experience fear and I'm not always fearless. And I guess something that has shifted, though, is seeing the beauty in fear being a signal. And the recognition of what fear means and how it shows up when something really matters, or when you're on the edge of something becoming. Oh! Hi, baby. Come on. Come on, Akita. Come on. Good girl. You lay down in your hide. What were you doing? What were you just eating? Keela, what were you just snacking on? So while I definitely do experience fear, there has been a process of becoming friends with it and the recognition of fear being proof that I really care. Today has turned out to be a bluebird sky. I do not see a single cloud. And today is the first day that feels normal. This whole month has been chaotic and also really beautiful with so much time in the backcountry. But it's, definitely challenged my skill of balancing everything. And today's the first day that I'm not grasping for balance, It feels really good. Actually, yesterday was my birthday, and that was a very beautiful day. I took the whole day off of work, and I did a lot of my favorite things, and I did some art, and I went surfing, and hung out with beautiful people, and I went to the thrift store, and I got this flannel. It's an insulated flannel. Cute pair of pants. Maybe I'll wear these tonight, and they're really comfy. So fun little birthday finds at the thrift store. One of the few things that just makes me feel like I'm back in my normal space here is getting back to my lifting routine.
Outside my window, a little hummingbird flies. That's how I know your spirit's alive. But as I approach you, you fly away.
I would say that there are two big fears that quietly shape my life. And I guess, to be blunt, the first fear is physical weakness, of my body breaking down or me not being able to do the things that make me feel so alive. And a lot of my joy comes from working really hard and moving my body. And that fear is one of the reasons why I care about my body so much, because I'm working on protecting the part of me that really loves doing hard things. And luckily, this is a fear that, for the most part, I can meet head on. I can do my resistance training, which is so good for my body on all different levels. And I can move and I can stretch and I can nourish and I can care for this body so it keeps carrying me through this life that I love. And I would say the second fear is grief. And I think that when you've felt such deep gut-wrenching, life-changing, numbing grief, you become extra aware that it's probably going to happen again. But this one I cannot control. So I guess the only thing to do with that kind of fear is to honor it. And I'd say that shows up the biggest with Aquila. I live in ways that make every day possible to spend mostly with Aquila. And I travel in ways so that she can join me. And it feels like in a lot of ways, our lives are very much merged into one. And I suppose with these two examples, fear could pretty easily eat away at me. But I guess I've decided to kind of shake hands with them and see them more as guides, something that I want to move with. Aquila has been with me through everything. Through the van build and so many miles on the road and off-grid winters and buying the property. We have been through so much. When it comes to her health and what she eats, I care so deeply. We both want to take a moment and give a huge thank you to the Farmer's Dog for supporting our channel and for sponsoring this video. A few years ago, I started really diving into dog food and what kibble is and how it is made. And when you think about it, it just makes sense to feed your dog minimally processed, fresher food. Our journey has looked like her transitioning off of kibble. We did this almost 3 years ago now. I had heard about the Farmer's Dog many times, and I decided to transition her fully onto the Farmer's Dog food in February. So she has been eating the Farmer's Dog now for almost 8 months, and she loves it. Also, the sign up was super easy. They just asked a few questions about Aquila, like her age and her weight and her activity level, and then any goals that we had. And then her personalized plan showed up right at our driveway, which is so convenient because we don't have to drive forever to find you good food. So it comes in these pre-portioned packs. It has Aquila's name on it and feeding instructions. And then it also comes with a transition guide, which is really important to help transition your dog off of their old food to their new Farmer's Dog food. And then you also get a reusable container and a freezer bag. One of the things that sold me on the Farmer's Dog back in February is that Aquila's food is cooked, packaged, and tested in facilities that meet the same safety standards as human food. And you can actually see the ingredients. When I open up her food and pour it into her bowl, I can see the real food in the food. So if you have considered making the switch, you can get 50% off of your first box of the Farmer's Dog using my link below, and you'll also get free shipping and 24/7 customer support, because Aquila is not the only dog that deserves food that is actually food. Right. You want some dinner? She says, let me in this box of food. I love you.
My senses are desensitized. I'm numb from my head to my heart, and I hear the ringing of a beautiful feeling, but that sweet bell won't tell from where it goes. 'Cause I don't know if I love you, or if my heart's just feeling numb, and I can't tell if I'm drowning, or if in the pool of love I'm sinking like a stone.
Almost every time I start something new, like a project that I've never done before, or if I'm using a tool that I've never used before, fear is one of the first things that shows up. For me, this feels like a form of panic and a sudden rush in my chest, and a voice that says, yeah, this one you can't do, and you're definitely gonna mess this up, and somebody else should probably just handle this. Instead of freezing, or instead of turning away and assuming that I can't accomplish something, I simply learn more about it. Because the more that I build and the more that I take on and the more that this cycle kind of continues to complete itself, I've recognized that fear almost always means the same thing, and it's just that I don't know enough yet. It is not failure waiting to happen. Instead, it is just knowledge waiting to be gained. Therefore, it's just a signal again. The fear washes in and I say, oh, I've seen you before. And then most of the time, I start working on something and the fear begins to shrink.
Breathe the vapors till I make it to
Yeah, right here. Okay, awesome, cool. Oh my God, it's so cute! Wow! This will never look like that ever again. So sometimes this happens where I have like a whole plan for a day and a bunch of work that I need to get done, and then an opportunity arises and I can't say no, which then just pushes all of my work to either like really early morning or really late night. But that's just how I prefer to do things. So yeah, my friend said that he's going fishing, so I'm gonna go fishing with him. And I don't ever get to go fishing on like a watercraft because I'm always with Aquila. I also just typically am not like in an area long enough to meet people who have boats. Anyway, I have an opportunity to go fly fishing, so you will never ever catch me saying no to an opportunity to go fly fishing.
I will go discover the gold, go anywhere to uncover the bold in the mountainsides, valleys wide. I will go. I'll get lost just so I can.
I hear a lot of people fearing change, but for me, I think I experienced quite the opposite. I very much fear staying the same. I fear stagnation, and I fear getting stuck in a quiet, comfortable place where growth stops and everything just starts to dull. Because to me, life is movement, and it's building and exploring and trying and experiencing and becoming. The idea of missing out on people and places and experiences in all corners of the world, things that I can't even comprehend yet, is one of the things that shapes a lot of my world and a lot of the things that I imagine doing with however many years I have left. And unfortunately, I do hear others place labels on people that think like me. And sometimes we're called flighty or free spirits, or that we're chasing something. And I also think that that's a bunch of bullshit. And that people that can't understand others like to just throw labels on them and pretend that they're wrong. But I don't think any of us are wrong. I think all of us are unique individuals with different loves and different fears and different wants from this lifetime.
A little higher in the water.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
whoa, oh my gosh.
Little beaver.
Whoa.
And he's just chilling. Oh, he can't see me.
I just spent my morning with Elsa and Baron, which was so nice. Oh boy. and OT. Okay, there's a lot going on in the next 2 days. So today I have a little bit of time. I have like this window that I want to take advantage of. So I've been trying to find somebody with a trailer, which is great because I know people with trailers, and hopefully at some point I will also be one of them. I have officially ordered my straw bales for my house, and yeah, I need a system for storing them over winter, and that's why I need a trailer.
I don't know. I wish you'd asked me where I wanted them. Why don't you pull it back a little bit, and then it don't matter if they don't stick off. I just don't want them sticking beyond my wheels.
Yeah.
Can you get in there?
I think so.
You got it hooked?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I want the handles on this side.
Okay, do you want another one over here or just go
No,
to
just
the
one. You get into a habit of doing it a certain way, and it might seem kind of weird that I'm doing it. You might wonder why I'm doing it. It's probably a habit. You might have had fun loading those on that little trailer.
That would have been fun. Nice. So cute. You love James.
Come out.
Yeah, let's not stack them up. I mean, they can be in stacks of like 2 or 3 if we want, and then I can organize them in the way. And then there's a very real fear that I have of heartbreak. I think one of the scariest things that we do in our life is give somebody else the keys to hurt you. Because love, no matter how honest or intentional, is something that we can't control. I can only control how I love and how open I choose to be, but I cannot control what somebody else does with my heart and how they choose to hold it once I've given it to them. Love is terrifying. Of course, it's also beautiful and expansive and one of the brightest things that we experience in this lifetime. But to love fully means also accepting that loss might come again. And it's a similar ache, I think, that comes from grief. This quiet undercurrent and knowing that nothing is promised. It asks us to trust, even when we know that it could end up in a lot of hurt. And sometimes I'm unsure of this, but I think for the most part, it is a fear that I'd rather live with than live without. We went back to James and Doreen's to pick up my van, and I was on my way back home, and I think I found a rock that I like. Okay, this rock is heavier than I had anticipated, but I think I can do this. It is heavy. I don't know that I can lift it up in here, but I really like it. Okay, wait, this is why I work out, so I can do shit like this. Fuck, I don't know if I can do this. I just don't want to break my toe. I bet if I wasn't on a hill, I'm gonna drive up a little bit. Okay, this way I'm not in a ditch. Okay, just have to go for it. Oh shit. Okay. Oh my gosh, I got it. It's just, okay. There's my rock. Oh my gosh, that is so cool under there. So that is so solid. So solid. I want more dirt. That's my rock. I love it. Okay, I can imagine that just this one little lone rock looks a little bit funny, but because this front siding is done, I can slowly start chipping away at making it look nicer. So I did want like a nice rock step, and I'm gonna pour some gravel behind it and then gravel the whole, really the whole perimeter of the studio, so that A, it looks nicer, and also B, so rodents and rattlesnakes can't dig under. And then once that gravel is there, there will be probably a few years from now, when I actually have time and when I'm no longer building a house, I'll be able to add some like landscaping in front of this. So I might place like more rocks, you know, create like a rock path to the studio, and then have this as the step, and then slowly add some like plants in front of the studio. But right now I'm just really most excited about this rock. So it's 3 o'clock right now, and in a half an hour I have a meeting with Timbo, and basically this is just a call because I have a page of questions and ideas for my house and how I might want to tweak the design that I bought, and just some ideas of like what I want to do with the roof and what I would need to adjust. And yeah, this is kind of just like a call because I don't know what I'm doing. I guess to put it bluntly. Charging. There we go. I am really looking forward to working on solar for the studio, because my power stations are just, I think after last winter, I really put them through the ringer last winter, and yeah, they're struggling a bit. So I'm kind of constantly like limping by on power. Hopefully by the end of this month I'll have more than what I even know what to do with.
You know, right here, like this whole thing, right? This is the perimeter foundation.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine that the box beam above is going to be fine,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you have big window here and big window here.
Where like maybe the framing over on what would that be, the east side, supporting some of those beams, and then adding kind of like a, I don't know this proper language, but almost like a T beam inside of that area. All right, it's 5:30. I do need to start something for dinner, but I'm also feeling as though I need something really easy because everything is just chaos right now. There's a hawk right here. Oh my gosh, he's so beautiful. My van, chaos. My old camp, chaos. My brain, chaos. But it's all good chaos. It's good stuff. It feels great. It feels great because chaos means that like shit's happening. And I'm learning, and that's I love it. It's great. Oh yeah, dinner. Okay. Right. Yep.
She set out to make a change and leave a broken, shattered past behind.
It's officially the time for insulated overalls.
The fairy tales she dreamed about, she was just a child. She used to be
Oh my god, it's a full moon tonight. The moon is just barely peeking over the ridge, look. Right now I'm watching the full moon rise over my beautiful ridge, and I can smell the elk chili that I'm making. The wind died down. I'm so cozy. I love my new little camp. Akila is lounging on the sheep hides, and I feel so incredibly grateful right now. And one of the things that's coming up for me so strongly in this gratitude are the people in my life and the community that I have kind of stumbled into just over, I would say, like the last year and a half. This has shifted so much as I have allowed myself to settle in here, to settle into this property actually being my home, and to like settle into a community. And right now I just feel so grateful because I do have that, and it is one of the best parts of my life. Today, Doreen gave me a whole loaf of her homemade bread, and she gifted me this after I spent the majority of the day with James having these beautiful, deep life conversations. And I just went over to grab my hatchet, which is sitting on my new stump, because my friend Dave, who I met at a local breakfast spot here, we have just really connected over the last few weeks, and he surprised me with 2 loads of wood for winter, and just yesterday came by to drop off a stump so that I'd have something to chop my wood on. But just before that, I swung over to Elsa and Barron's, and we had an impromptu breakfast date because we love each other. And then about 2 days ago, I got a message from Jordan offering help if I need anything this fall, because his own house building project is finally slowing down and he has a bit more time this winter. I think I'm sharing this so that you know that this does exist, and that there are people living unique lives in the middle of nowhere like me who are doing so, yes, because solitude and nature is such an important part of life, but also because the community that is available when you need to rely on people, because life out here can be really hard. It's a thing, and it's beautiful, and I'm so grateful. I'm just so grateful for the amazing people and deep friendships in my life, and knowing that I have people around me that will drop anything if I need help, and they know that I will drop everything if they need help. I know that fear will always have a seat at my table, and it will continue to show up in all of its different forms, in new beginnings and the risk of love and the ache of loss, and even in the quiet moments when life feels really still. But it's not something that I'm hoping to conquer anymore. Fear has become a part of my compass and a signal that points me toward what I care most about. Like the fear of my body breaking down reminds me to move it and to care for it. And the fear of grief and heartbreak reminds me to love harder and to work on being more open and to not take my days for granted. And of course, all of the fear that lives here in these crazy big new projects that I'm taking on, it's just curiosity wearing a disguise. There are no new chapters in our story that can only take place without fear. So I guess my perspective is that the goal isn't to get rid of the fear. I think that would be a never-ending battle. But instead, pulling it close and getting to know what it means for you, and then still choosing to build and to love and to begin again, just while walking beside it. Can you see anything? This is crooked. Oh, I just landed on her nose.
Holy shit.
Also, my lens looks like it's terrible. I think I might need to buy a new lens. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just gonna keep bringing stuff over. Doing okay. You asked to come in here. I need to go get some tunes. You are ridiculous. Right now, you are propped up on a piece of my compressed wood, my jug of laundry detergent, and a headlamp. So. Holy shit.
Outside my window, a little hummingbird flies. That's how I know your spirit's alive. But as I approach you, you fly away. I'm not a big mean blackbird like you say.